MovieWeb.com.
So how are you guys doing?
Really good. No, we're fine.
Yeah, we're having a good time in America.
Well, I just heard that you brought over 15 of your friends to enjoy the premiere with you guys.
Yeah, we did. We brought all the stars of the movie, the surf stars, Mark Matthews and Johnny Gannon, Jamie Gore, and a whole lot of our friends that have been touring this. Some of the other screenings we did around the country, there was different groups. So the whole tour, there's probably been about 40 or 50 of our friends, backwards and forth.
They're all having a good time here.
I would imagine they are. It sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Now, did you set out to make a surf film, or was this more about family for you?
I wanted it to be a social documentary. Yeah. It didn't about family and about that brotherhood and the uniqueness in our community and in that strong surf community. But as the film progressed, and then when our brothers led into the shooting and that, then it went further and further.
Sonny first set out to do a story on another family, and they're boxers from River, fighters. And then when we got in trouble, he thought, he better do it on us, and he had to change his whole movie thing.
Well, it was still the same. It was still the same social struggle though. And as I kind of researched the whole thing, you could see that our story could have been repeated in any of those different generations. That's the message I was trying to get across to the audience.
So you were filming this, and then you guys got in trouble with the whole court case, and so it was a natural progression to go in that direction with it?
Yeah, well, we thought that we were willing to put another family's life up on camera, and then we should. That was the story we're trying to tell, so we should remain true to the story. And we all discussed it between us, and that was best representing our lives as well, because our lives is a roller coaster. And I think when you grow up in a lower income sort of area or a project area, you have got it's kind of this feeling of being ready, because you never know what's going to happen. So that was best describing that as well, keeping the audience on that ride with us by keeping the cameras rolling and seeing.
How was it to go back into the editing room and relive this over and over again, this footage?
It was really hard, actually. It was really hard. That was probably the hardest thing about making the film. But in saying that, I think me and Koby said before, it kind of made us talk about a lot of stuff that we've never really talked about before, So it was quite empowering for all of us, I think.
No, what are you planning on doing after this? Are you going to continue to photograph the surfing?
I want to make more social documentaries, and I want to keep making films, that kind of inspire and,
Would you have an idea what your next story is going to be?
Yeah, I'm making a story actually. We're working on our life story on a book, which is what the feature film is going to be based on, off the documentary and our life story on a book. But I'm also working on a true story about an Australian rebellion from the early 1900s. Something that they don't teach you in schools, but I'd like to just do some of these stories that have a lot of social context to it.
I wanted to ask how hard it was to bring the camera into the funeral that we see in the movie.
We did it respectfully. We did it from a distance and from really respectfully. But
I think people you can take it as kind of disrespectful, or Maya was such a good person that she needs to be remembered.
Yeah.
Whether you're walking into a funeral home with a camera and video and it's one of us.
Yeah, but I don't think he was saying that.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, she has to be remembered, and if it's remembered by walking in somewhere with a video camera and video and everything and seeing everyone's emotions, I think it's a great thing.
We thought Ma was really part of it. We really believed that she was holding on to the end of the court case, before she kind of, let go. So it was really powerful for us to show that a lot of things that kept happening in the movie, the shooting, then the release, Koby surfing as the world champion, the race rights, it all kind of seemed that everything we've been doing over that last 15, 20 years was all coming to this climax,
No, why for both of you was it so important to get this story out there for everybody of these guys?
I think it's just, kids there's so many kids out there in the struggle of the life that we had. And surfing and skateboarding and football and soccer, whatever it is, if you rely on a sport to get you through something, or friendships if you don't have a family, people can just walk away with that and see that we had nothing, but we had our friends and something that we loved. And
if you got that out there, if you have that out there,
something to do, it can save you. And if one kid can walk out of the movie and make that happen for himself, I think it's a win.
Okay.
And we really also wanted to show that strength in communities too, and surf communities, and when you're trying to just embrace as a group and as a brotherhood, that it makes you be a lot more intolerant to a lot of different things, so.